It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Cats Talk Wednesday, Terry and Vinny, BS3 Network. TB, we waiting for Friday, man. Waiting on Friday.
Ow. I tell you, it's great. I love this time of year, man. Kentucky's a 3 seed in the Midwest. I think they've got a pretty good shot as far as, brackets go. There's nobody I'm really scared to play in the bracket. I know we go in a little bit more detail, but a great game to start off. Get a little bit of experience, for some of those folks that haven't had that experience. But looking at it, I mean, we've got some guys that have played in the tournament before, and Lamont Butler being the PG, he had a deep run. He's got one of them shots that show up in the montage.
Yes, he does.
I'm excited. I think other than North Carolina getting in, I know they won last night, but other than North Carolina, I don't really have an argument with anything.
Yeah, that was, I'm cool with Kentucky's spots. The whole Bubba Cunningham, North Carolina stuff, that was sketchy.
It feels weird that the one team that everybody's like, why is this team in here? Their AD is the chair of the committee.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense of, well, he wasn't in the room. We were talking about North Carolina. What? Like, what is that? Okay. Well, what is it? Like, he's still there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he's supposed to not be impartial if he's still in the room at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people talk about, well, CM Newton was on the committee. He was on the committee in the 90s, and Kentucky was going to be number 1 seed most of those years anyway. Like, what are we doing here? Well, we got to really give it to CM Newton because the 96 Cats got a number 1 seed. Way to go, CM. Like, okay. What are we doing, man?
It's just shady, man. I don't know. People talk about, well, West Virginia should have won more and they wouldn't have been in this position. Well, true. Anybody that's on the last one out, if they'd done this or done that, they wouldn't be in this position. But that still doesn't change the fact that North Carolina did less than West Virginia, and they still got in. They won less than y'all, and they. So,
and that was my thing is we all said the ACC is doo-doo this year.
Man.
So Duke is going to be a number 1 seed and start their journey in the state of North Carolina because Duke always gets a number 1 seed and always plays their first round games either in Charlotte or Greensboro or Raleigh or they always start out about 90 miles from campus. Okay, great. So, but when I saw Louisville got the 8th seed, I was like, oh, they are really devaluing the ACC.
Yeah.
Okay. And then North Carolina, I was like, but wait, what? I thought, Clemson, of course, gets in from the ACC, and they've got some big wins against Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But I was shocked at North Carolina. I was like, I don't know how you make that justification. One quad 1 win. Then why are we even keeping track of them?
Yeah, because that was the cutting edge metric, and
because you remember the RPI was a big thing for a while there,
mm-hmm.
and you were looking for big marquee wins. Because I remember, God, this is like 97, 98, maybe. Georgia got in, and they were like 16-14 on the year or something like that. They got in because it was when Jim Herrick was there, and they played a brutal out-of-conference schedule.
Okay.
And it was like, oh, okay, if you schedule hard, you're rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
But then they flip. Like, there's zero consistency with what we're looking for. And for Bubba Cunningham to give us this word salad about how North Carolina is in the field, it's meaningless. Like, what is it that you're looking for, right? And it changes year to year. That's the frustration part.
Seth Davis tried to ask him, as soon as the selection show was over, Seth Davis tried to ask him about it, and he sidestepped it, and he was like, "Well, see, I got Keith here. I'm gonna let you talk to Keith for a minute." And he kicked it over to homeboy Keith. I don't even remember his last name, but so that just let you know it wasn't.
Seth Davis has been full of bad takes for a while. Like I generally love him, but he's gonna die on that cross of expanding the tournament, which we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just because we have expanded in the past doesn't mean we need to keep expanding. Because you can extrapolate that on out and just, all 300 teams. We'll start this in January.
Nope.
And just let everybody play. Everybody gets a shot. Yay, yippee. Like, we're at the point now where I don't think we need to expand.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
It's the one thing in American sports that's really perfect as is. Like, we quibbling about North Carolina, but come Thursday, ain't nobody really gonna care.
Right.
Because we got to watch the games.
And everybody just hoping they get knocked out quick. Everybody's pulling for San Diego State last night.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but whoever they get next, I forget where they are, but I'll be pulling for them. But we can keep all this going too. We got to flip in and get some high school conversation going because we got a guest, first time guest from the coaching ranks and TB. I'm always getting my Harlan County people on the show. This gentleman has not been on with us, but he is the coach of the Harlan County girls team, the Black Bears. Just finished his first year as the head coach of the Lady Black Bears. We're talking none other than Coach G, Gary Greer, who's backstage. We'll bring him on now. Coach G, man, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I appreciate you fellas for having me.
Glad to do it. Hey, it's my bad. I meant to try to reach out to you before the season started. I had Coach Jones on, had Coach Cal on, and I was going to reach out. And next thing I know, the season a couple weeks in, and I was like, hey, first year head coach. I said, I'm not going to mess with him. I'm just going to let him do his deal and then reach out to you after the year. So thanks for hopping on now, man.
I appreciate it.
So your first year in the books, and correct me if I'm wrong, got a super young team, right?
Very young team. We had 5 high school girls on the varsity roster.
Oh, wow.
And you still end up snatching the district championship from Bell County in year 1.
Well, we won the first round. We got beaten in the championship, but we knocked off Bell, which was undefeated and number 1 ranked team in our district. So.
And they had kind of ran it for a while. They had won it 4 or 5 years in a row, right?
In a row, yeah. They have a really good program down that way.
So there's something to build on, right?
Yeah.
You got a young team. You took your lumps, but then you knocked them out. As the season ends, you kind of got something going forward with this young team coming back, right?
We did. That was one of our goals. Obviously we wanted to win the district. We fell, a few points short, but we wanted to get to the region, and play in the arena. We didn't have a girl on the roster who ever played in the arena, so that was one of our goals. And it was exciting to get them girls down there and give them that experience. Use this year as a stepping stone to where we want to go in the future.
Well, first, let me backtrack too. We get back to you being a head coach in the Harlan County Girls, but just tell everybody about you as a player and your journey as a coach too.
Well, I'm a 2000 graduate from Harlan City. After that, I went off to play a few years of football at Pikeville and Union College. After that, I moved back home and I started coaching at the county for 5th and 6th grade, 7th, 8th grade. I did that for 3 years, and then I moved up to the Harlan County High School where both the coaches, Coach Mike Jones and Coach Michael Jones, was my high school and middle school coaches. So I moved up there for 15 years, and then this past season I was with the girls.
So yeah, man. So tell everybody about yourself as a player. Right.
As I get older, I like to think I was a little better than what I was. But I was an average guy. I was blessed to play on some really good teams. I think we won like I think 3 districts. It was several all A region titles and made it to the finals one year. 13th region finals one year. So then in football, I was on 2 of the maybe I think it's 4 or 5. I can't remember. It's not too many district titles. So in football at Harlan, so I was a freshman one year and I was a senior one year that we won the district. So
yeah, and you played for, of course, Mike Jones, who was a legend, and I know, full disclosure, I went to Cumberland, and we couldn't stand y'all because y'all was always running.
Charles, get over Charles.
Charles, and of course Mike Jones, his son, Todd Cox. Y'all, that big three was just a few years ahead of you, and then you came up behind them. They were nasty. Terry, Wildcat Corey talked about coming to play against that Harlan team and getting 30-piece. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he talked about it.
Yeah. So they had some squads, and for you, man, what was it like? You started out as an assistant after you finished your high school and college career. You're coaching under Mike Jones Sr., then under Michael, and then under Kyle, who we've had on TV. What's it like coaching under all 3 of those guys?
Oh, it was great. I played with Kyle in high school, so he was a year older than me, but I played with him. And like I said, Michael was my junior high coach, and then he moved up to high school when I got to high school. And then Big Mike, was my coach. I had a personal relationship with all 3 of them, so it was great. It was like we're back in the '90s again.
Yeah,
so it was great. It was great.
And 15 years all total as an assistant underneath those 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like making the move now to being a head coach? Your first year, you slide over that extra chair, as they say. How was that transition for you?
It's a lot more responsibilities, I can tell you that. But I enjoyed every minute of it. I'm very excited, be the girls' coach. I got to sit behind a Hall of Famer, and Michael probably, when it's said and done, will be another Hall of Famer. And I got to learn the ropes. So it was a little easier transition for me because being a assistant for 15 years under those guys. So I learned a lot during them years.
Yeah, for sure. When did you know that you wanted to be a head coach? You 15 years an assistant. Did you 10 years ago, last year? When did you want to?
I've always wanted to be a head coach. I think anybody who gets into coaching at one point in time in their career, they want to be a head coach. And when this opportunity came available, I went after it. I feel like I paid my dues. And I thought it was time for me to be a head coach.
Yeah. Well, definitely was happy when I saw the article.
I appreciate that.
John Henson at the Enterprise, been there forever. I saw it. I think it was his article I saw. So that was cool, man, for sure. Oh, so tell everybody about the team you got coming back next year. You got year 2 be here before you know it. So what can everybody expect from?
We'll still be very young. I'll have all 5 starters coming back. I have to be 2 seniors next year, 2 sophomores, and a freshman, and then I have all my top reserves coming back. They will. She's she's an 8th grader, and I had a 7th grader in a rotation. Then I got a couple more 8th graders that was in a rotation, and another freshman that was in a rotation. So hopefully, the experience all those girls got, we can make a little push for this district.
So how was it as far as you kind of learning the girls? Because you were on the staff for the boys last year, so you had to come in and kind of learn them, and them kind of learn you. And how did that go smooth for you?
It went smooth. It's a little different, transition. Boys, once you get on them, they're out to prove you wrong. I'm a show coach. I can do this. But girls, I just feel like with the girls, like you got to coach them a little different. I mean, you still coach them hard, but you got to show them that you truly care. And I feel like when you show them you truly care, that they'll run through a wall for you. So it's a little different, but like I said, I enjoyed it.
You kind of going the Kenny Brooks route. He coached men, and now he's coaching, of course, the ladies, Virginia Tech and Kentucky. But he always says that the ladies are smarter than the boys too, as far as like remembering plays and stuff.
I will tell you this: I think because girls can't rely on their athletic ability like boys can. I do think girls, their fundamentals are better than the boys' side. I think because they have to work on those things. Where sometimes I'm not saying boys are not fundamental, but sometimes a boy can get by with just being the fastest and our best athlete on the floor. It's not like that with girls. They're all their fundamentals. I feel like is a little better.
Makes sense. TB man, jump in. Like I cut you off a couple times. If I did, I apologize.
No, you answered all my questions about how it is to coach girls. I got girls playing sports, so I'm right there with you, Coach. It's a little bit different, and you can't yell. You can't yell quite as much. It's just a little bit different, but sounds like you're doing some great work down there.
I appreciate it. We're trying. We're gonna work hard every day, and we're gonna get after people. So as long as we're improving every day, that's all that matters. If it's just a little bit, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, and the fact too, man, I'm excited that you got such a young squad. Like once you get it, y'all will be coming, and there'll be that chemistry from all of them playing together, and y'all will be something to deal with here down the road.
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping. As long as they continue to show up every day and work hard, I think that we'll have a chance.
And when you open it up and look at the big picture as far as the state goes, Sacred Heart just won again.
Yeah, they're a different animal.
So my question to you, since Johnson is finally leaving now, going to LSU, do you think they have to actually rebuild, or would they just reload again?
I just think they reload. I just think they what was last 4 or 5 state championships they won. I mean, they'll just reload. They probably got some mountain in the bench just waiting for their turn.
It's like the old UConn teams. Okay, Maya Moore's left, but here's Brianna Stewart. Can't wait for Sue Bird to leave, and here comes Rebecca Lobo. Like, okay, well, great, thank you.
That's true. So,
but Coach, have you been able to kind of tap in with the girls, kind of the rise in women's basketball over the last couple of years? Like,
absolutely.
The excitement just seems to be just universal.
Oh, it's awesome. The last few years, I've actually watched the girls NCAA tournament more than I have the boys. I'm a huge Paige fan and Juju Watts. So it's been amazing these last several years. That they've changed the game.
Yeah.
It's just been crazy watching the WNBA. It's must-watch TV. I broke down, got the WNBA pass this past year, and just to watch, because as you were saying, now I love the NBA, right? And you're going to see these freak athletes be above the rim, but the basketball that I personally could understand is the women's game, because I can't jump like that.
Yes, that was me.
And so you have to learn angles. You have to learn how to change your speed. You have to, because you can't just as you were saying, you can't just go by that person.
Yeah.
You got to use your angles a little bit differently. You got to shoot better because you can't go get that rebound above everybody. So that's what I enjoy about the women's game. Now, I'm still going to watch the NBA, but I'm going to watch both of them.
Yeah,
you don't have to pick. You don't have to pick.
That's me. I'm watching all of it.
Yeah, I'm saying. I got to ask every coach that comes on, Coach. Had Coach Jones, had Coach Cal on here. Would you like to see the shot clock in high school, or do you say, hey, leave it alone, it's fine the way it is?
I would love to see a shot clock in high school. I'm just you know, we last year I think we was up in Northern Kentucky at Griffin Elite, and we got to play with a shot clock. You know, I think we was playing on it was a school out of Louisville, had a really good player. One of the small, like a 2 or 3A schools, one of the smaller Louisville schools. Louisville DeSales. We played them with a shot clock, and listen, that ball was shot within 15, 20 seconds. You know, there was never no violations. You know, so I was, when you in the mountains, especially in the mountains, you'll find that team that won't shoot it. You know, they'll turn over, a million times. You know, like I can remember there several years ago in the first round of the district tournament. I think we ended up winning the game, but I think the score ended up being, and I could be wrong on the score, but it was like 24-20. That's it's hard. That's hard. That's hard to watch. So I would love for a shot clock to be in high school basketball.
That's unanimous. Every coach we've had on are in favor of the shot clock, man. So far, I understand. Oh, got a flashback to last year too. You know, you're the head coach of the girls now, but you were on staff for the boys. So just talk about that run that y'all made. Winning the region, and then the run you made in the Sweet 16 all the way to the championship game. Just talk about that, man.
Man, that's amazing. It was an amazing season. It's something that I don't think anybody will forget. Being from the mountains, them opportunities don't come a lot. So what we was able to accomplish was unbelievable. We was in dog fights 3 games in a row in the region. Then 3 straight dog fights just to get to the finals. To be able to be a part of it, just to see how your community and your school and everybody backs you. Even though we got beat in the finals, we come home. The following day they have a parade and it is packed. It is packed both sides of the roads for 4 or 5 miles. It was unbelievable. It was something that I'll never forget. It was just, it's hard to put in words how special, that run was.
Yeah, definitely, man. You're right. Everybody's going to remember that for sure. Everybody, of course, knew about Trent Noah and Maddox Huff, but they kind of got to know Reggie Cottrell. So talk about Reggie, and then, of course, we know he had the accident over the summer, but just talk about what kind of kid he is and how he's been able to bounce back.
Yeah, Reggie, he's a good kid, and it's an unfortunate, accident that happened, but I was still able to watch several games this year. To me, it's like for all the time that he hadn't had to miss beginning of the year, it's like he didn't lose a beat. He didn't, lose a step. He had a really good year. He dealt with some injuries. I think he had a little nagging high ankle sprain there for a while, but he had a really good season. And he overcame a lot. And I think he proved a lot of people wrong. So I know Coach Jones is expecting a really big year out of him next year.
Yeah, it's gonna kind of it's gonna be his show more so next year now for sure. So
yeah,
looking forward to seeing how he handles that as well. But unforgettable run for sure, and couldn't have you on here without having taking a look back at.
Yeah,
at
I
two.
don't mind at all. I still to this day get on YouTube and watch some of them games.
No doubt, no doubt. So, who was your favorite players coming up? We can go football and basketball, college, pro, NBA, however you want to go. When you were coming up,
My favorite player and football player growing up was Boomer Esiason.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I played quarterback, so I was a big Boomer fan, and then obviously, Michael Jordan, was I think everybody's favorite in basketball, but right now, I would say Damian Lillard. I'm a big Dame Dollar fan, so
yeah, he's a good one.
Boomer Esiason is the deep cut. I think he stays underrated.
I agree.
He just happened to come along when the Cowboys and the Niners were kind of taking over everything, and he kind of gets overshadowed a little bit. But if you look at some of those record books, like he better than you think.
I think it was 98 maybe. I was a sophomore in high school, and the football team went down to Georgetown to the training camp. So I think he had just came back from the Jets just to retire. I think he was just retiring. So I got to meet him, and it was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you left-handed as well, or
no?
Okay.
I was just a Bengals fan growing up,
So are you glad to see him? Pay Higgins and Jamar and all that. Everybody's wondering if they were gonna do that. So they got that done. Are you glad to see him keep those guys?
Oh, I am. I'm very happy. Yeah.
Are they gonna have enough money for defense? Because that was the problem last year.
Yeah, I think that's still gonna be a problem. I think that's still gonna be the problem.
Oh well, yeah. So I thought it was wrong. The defensive coordinator, they fired him, but they lost so many good dudes like in free agency, and then they mad at him for the defense not being as good. If I'm him, I'm like, hey man, hey some of these guys.
We need some dudes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, man, Coach, we certainly enjoy having you, man. Appreciate you taking the time to hop on here, and congratulations on your first season. Looking forward to get up there and watch y'all a couple home games next year. And try to catch on the road when you come to Bear or Middlesboro or something like that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Is is that girl's Twitter account right? The HC, are y'all going to start using that one, or is there a different one?
No, we're going to have to get another one. That was the two coaches before me. That was Coach Green.
I remember that, and I saw it hadn't been used in a while, but I'm like, I don't know. But whenever y'all get a new one, I'm gonna follow it and get it.
Yeah, we'll get it up and running soon.
All right. Well, man, Coach Greer, Coach G, thank you so much, and
I appreciate it.
Definitely looking forward to having you again sometime, man.
I appreciate y'all, fellas.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
All right, thank you too.
Coach Gary Greer, Harlan County girls basketball coach, man. So cool to get him on.
Speaking of girls sports, I've got a split screen. I've got hey Ben, how's it going, man?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
I was just saying yes, sir, to Ben. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But my girls squad's up 11-3 in the third quarter. They stopped for the storm to come through, and now they're back at it. So
okay, so this is your oldest. They're playing right as we speak. Okay.
As we speak, Aurora and St. Mary's College of Indiana, and this is their first home game in a while, and I got to see her do the starting lineups.
Oh, awesome!
I'm gonna try to petition them to do like the Chicago Bulls and use Cirrus, just so they can call my girl out from Louisville, Kentucky, number 16.
Oh man,
I'm a petition that. But did I send you the video of the game she played this past weekend? Unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it raining right now? Is it snowing? Are they got clear? Just cold? What's up with the?
I think it's clear where they are. up close to Chicago. It's clear right now, but we've got snow coming through. So,
wow.
Yeah. But hey, I'm watching these games, man, and it's different. Everybody's got jokey jokes for like the LeVar Balls and the Richard Williams and even like Mama Kelsey. Everybody got jokey jokes for parents in the stands, man. It's different watching your kids do it, man. It just is. It just is. Here I am getting excited, yelling at a college women's lacrosse game.
Yeah. Hey, well, it's gonna bring the emotions out, like you said. You said the other day, I think you text me the double overtime game, and you text me something else, and you was just like, "Hey, this is stressful." So it can't avoid. It's unavoidable.
They had back-to-back overtime games, like back-to-back. Split them, but they had back-to-back. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm living and dying. This is before the Cats was even playing.
Yeah. So, you're on that roller coaster.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But we doing good with it.
That's awesome. So what's your bracket looking like? Or your Final Four, however you want to.
Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Because like I said, I didn't think anything was too, as far as the teams in it. I wasn't like, oh my goodness, except for North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull this up.
Let's see.
So as far as my Final Four teams, in the South, I'm going Iowa State. That's a little bit of a reach there. I just don't have any faith in Auburn because of Bruce Pearl. Because somebody said Bruce Pearl has only been to the second weekend that one time in 2019 when they beat us to go to the Final Four. Like, his resume ain't quite what we think it should be for all the love that he gets, right? So there's that. I don't think Michigan State has enough out of the South. In the West, I think it's Florida. I don't see anybody that can really compete with Florida, especially when they brought that one dude back that had been injured, and Florida look like a juggernaut right now.
Beat Alabama to death.
I'd love to see Memphis get to the Sweet 16 because of Mama B. I hope Oklahoma takes care of UConn because I'm tired of Dan Hurley. The Kansas versus Arkansas, like I posted, the winner determines how we gonna pronounce it. Is it gonna be Arkansas or is it gonna be Kansas? Right? How you gonna have two words that look? That's why English is a crazy language. But the winner will determine how we pronounce that moving forward.
That's right.
In the East, Duke, like we said, they always start out in North Carolina as a 1 seed. I don't know who else to buy into in the East. I think I've got Alabama coming out, but if Nelson can't play, who's going to provide that barrier to Duke? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin's a 3 seed, but I'll be cold and dead in my grave before I root for Wisconsin. And they know what they did. And did I tell you about the one time I was driving back and forth between Kentucky and Iowa? I saw a Wisconsin plate that said 38-1. Almost crashed the car to get a picture of it. I was like, but you know what? I can't be mad. You the one. Can't even be mad. Yeah. But I'm hoping that Bama comes out of the East. Now, the Midwest, look, I've never filled out a bracket and not had Kentucky winning. And I'm not going to start now. I don't think it's too wild and crazy. Yes, Houston plays good defense, but year after year, can't Houston score enough points?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost that like Virginia kind of thing. Like, if you can score some points where they have to, forcing them to score a little bit, that gets them out of what they want to do. And so I don't think you can win an NCAA championship game keeping a game in the 60s. I think at some point you're going to need an 80-point night.
Yeah.
And can Houston do that? I don't think so. I think they might lose to Gonzaga in the second round because they got Gonzaga's got that Nimhard as a point guard, and we know guards tend to dominate what happens in March. So I think Gonzaga can make the Sweet 16 from that point. Purdue, I'm not worried about. High Point, the Fighting Tubby Smiths.
Yeah, man.
I'm hoping they are the 13 seed that wins. But of course, I got Kentucky beating Troy. And then it doesn't matter if it's Texas. I don't mind playing them again because we controlled that game for 37 minutes down in Austin. And we lost it because we don't have a point guard.
Yeah.
So now we got a point guard back. I'm not worried about that. Illinois, but Illinois stole Abe Lincoln, so I'm always anti-Illinois. You know how I roll with that. And then UCLA, Utah State, Tennessee, Wofford. I don't mind playing Tennessee again.
Yeah, I like our chances with that.
Because people are like, oh, can you beat a team 3 times in 1 year? We just saw Alabama beat us 3 times in 1 year. Like you can do it, right?
Yes.
It's the 4th time it becomes trouble, and that's I can't remember her handle that loves Kenny Walker. That's an '86 team.
Yeah,
beat LSU 3 times.
Yeah, Lisa Rogers
had to play him that 4th time. Now that's where it gets sketchy. Like you ain't gonna beat us 4 times, but 3, why not?
Yeah,
and we were short-handed and short-staffed, beating Tennessee both times.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried. Like, look, we're to that point now. All these teams, we got all these metrics for how teams can win championships. But the TB metric is during the regular season, did you look like a championship team? Kentucky did.
I think it was Daryl Bird that tweeted out, Sunday of the SEC championship, Tennessee and Florida. He's like, Kentucky undefeated against those 2. They 3-0 against them. So,
I mean, look at all these top seeds. We beat Duke. We beat Tennessee. We beat Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So my thing, like, look, and I think I tapped into this a little bit last night on the spaces. I get it. The last 4 years have sucked, right? St. Peter's and then Oakland last year, Kansas State. Okay, I get it, right? But in my mind, we were due for one of those high seed losses. Duke has had them, right? Kansas has had them. North Carolina has had them. We just managed to avoid it. It just all happens. All the bad stuff just happened all at once. The 9-win season and these. So I get it. But like I've been saying, I'm older than 5 years old. I know what Kentucky basketball means and has done for the past 60 years. I get that, right? So I get that there's a little trepidation and all this kind of stuff. But if we are Kentucky, then let's be Kentucky. No team has been to more tournaments than us. Nobody. No team has participated more Elite Eights than us.
No.
Embrace it. We've been to the Elite Eight more times than most teams have been in the tournament.
Yeah.
And despite what your neighbors down there in Tennessee might say, Tennessee is slowly creeping up to be my least favorite rivalry fan base. Because every now and then I'll see something that somebody retweets where some Tennessee fan talking about our old titles. Well, blankety blank, get one. Get one.
Yeah.
You try to tell me that 2015 is so far away that our championships and our Final Fours are mothballed. You ain't got none.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? And as soon as you say that, well, our baseball team, look, now we're doing this. Now we're doing this. I know about your baseball team just did. I know about your football team with your Peyton Mannings and your this, that, and the other. I know about your women's team with your Shamik Holdsclaw and your Pat Summits and your Candace Parkers. That is not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about Smokey. I ain't talking about Philip Fulmer. I ain't talking about nothing.
Exactly.
I ain't talking about rocky top, flat top, black top. All I'm saying is your men's hoops team has never participated in a Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the list of teams that have Final Fours and Tennessee doesn't, it's like, what? Drake University here in Des Moines, Iowa, participated in the men's Final Four. Yes, it was 1969, but they still count.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, Tennessee fans, I would love to put Tennessee out this year. I think we would meet them in the Sweet 16. Put Tennessee out to keep that going another year. That would fill me with so much joy. So much joy if we were able to personally stop Tennessee from winning. Yes. Mr. Baker, good to see you, buddy. Happy March Madness Eve, baby.
JB.
But yeah, if we're the ones to put Tennessee out, that's why 2012 is my favorite run. Not only did we win a championship, but who did we put out? Indiana. Oh, and they still talk about the watch shot. Would you have traded?
Well, you know they would.
Would you rather have the win in March or the win in December? You can't have both, right?
Mm-hmm.
But putting Indiana and putting Louisville out was so sweet because you hear all this stuff all the time. Well, if we'd have played you in the tournament, you did, and you still lost.
Yup.
Now what? Right? So, look, I got the Cats going to the Final Four. I there's nobody in the bracket. And I'm not saying that there aren't good teams. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, and I forget who pointed this out last night during Spaces. I can't remember who said it. This team is battle tested.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
This team has gutted out some things that more than just your usual basketball season. People have been asked to do things that they're not comfortable with doing, that they're not good at doing. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I've not been the biggest Travis Perry fan, but he played pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And held the fort down. Your homeboy Trent Noah, he like, look, we played Tennessee. I know he got something for him because he's had it the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And that 1-3 he took, no hesitation, from the first E at the Tennessee logo. He caught it. Boom. I said, oh, okay. No, I was not familiar with your game, sir. So that, look, we're all guessing.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. The beauty of the tournament is any given night. The downside of the tournament is any given night.
Yeah.
And as Kentucky fans, we have seen the 3 for 36 again, or whatever it was against Georgetown.
Yeah.
We've seen Keith Bogans turn his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen things happen. But conversely, and this is what I try to let other people know, Kentucky is the villain in so many stories.
Yes.
My wife and I have a mutual Twitter follow. He's a Utah fan, our age. I think he was at Utah in the late 90s. You don't think we're a villain in that story?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I was looking up, our beloved bigbluehistory.net, and because this Friday is March the 21st, and I'm not Corey Price or anything, but Kentucky's 10-4 all time on March the 21st. And right now they're sitting on losses in their first game on March 21st against Dartmouth in 1942. And then last year against Oakland. So we need to win on March 21st to get that switched out. But, I had a reason. I was going somewhere with that. But anyway, I had a point to that too, but anyway, it'll come back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, I get it. The last 4 years.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was looking up, going through the years of when Kentucky played a game on March 21st. Did they win? Did they lose? And like 2 or 3 straight times, there was Utah win, because it was that run of when we beat Utah every time we faced them
in different stages, second round, Sweet 16.
But
I think Elite 8. I think everything except the Final Four, like championship game, but everything except the final, not the first round and not the Final Four. But we like y'all don't think that we are absolutely like we are the villain in a lot of these team stories.
Mm-hmm.
Wichita State, their best team ever, had to play us in the second round and lost. Still probably the best college basketball game I've ever seen. That was a high level from the jump. I need to go back and rewatch it because that was just, because that year, 2014, I was like, look, just win one game, right? They finally got it together. Just win the one.
Yeah.
And if you look at that Kansas State game in the first round, they didn't do anything that let us know what was coming. It was just one of those games like we won it. And I hate to say meh, but a meh win in the tournament. It's one of those games that you forget, right? It's just like, oh, okay. And then they ratchet it up. And so with this team, I'm like, just get the one. Right? Get Pope's first victory.
Yes.
Get some of that good juju going again. And let's see what happens. And I feel confident in this team. Have they lost some games? Yeah. But have they won some games? Yeah. Like, this is what it is. There's no guarantees in life. And I keep trying to say, like, the 2015 team, that was the easy team to get behind because they beat everybody. The 2012 team, that felt predestined we would win. Like, that's easy. But this year is kind of sort of what we are as a program, right? Going to win some big games, might lose, but this is kind of the way it is. What makes Kentucky the best is we've got more of these pretty good seasons than other people. Now, have other teams had have had greater seasons than we have? Probably. But Kentucky always has a pretty good to very good season, which is why we've gotten to the Elite 8 more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's a Kentucky team is Elite 8 or better, right? Yeah. That's what we do because that's what we have done for 50 years.
Yeah, that's it.
So I just look if also that I said I wasn't going to soapbox, but I probably stepped on some toes. I don't care about the transfer portal right now. I honestly don't. I'm to the point now where not just with sports, but with life, appreciate the right now. You always talk about when we won championship banner number 8, it wasn't even up before we were all talking about number 9.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy this. Next year will take care of itself. I don't need to see every person that's put their name in the transfer portal. Oh, he's a cat. He'll fit good with Mark Pope's system. I ain't worried about that this week. The painful. The thing about sports is you only get the one team for the one season.
Yeah.
Like even if you repeat, the team is different.
Yep.
Right. Even if you bring people back, like it. But we only get, especially with this team, this is all we're going to get.
Mark Pope says at every call-in show to Tom Leach, it's going so fast, and I just wish I had more time. And it's, it seems like I blinked my eye. We were playing exhibition games and putting a team together, and now here we are. He's if he can slow down time, it sounds like he's talking about his kids, or like any of us talking about kids. Oh man, I really wish. Man, when Mike and Chandler were 8 and 4, I just love. They were so funny, and I wish I could just keep them there. And now they're 16 and 12. Your girl's older than my boys. You know what I'm saying? And he says that when he's talking about these injuries, and he just wishes that he could just. He sounds just like any parent, and he got 4 girls. He a girl dad, just like you. Any parent that wishes that, I wish I could just keep them there. He sounds like that with this team. He just wishes he could just had more time with them.
And so I just want to slow down and appreciate this team. I think this team is special. It's a lot of players that probably, depending on the coach, a lot of these players may never have gotten to a place like Kentucky.
Right, no doubt.
And I think people try to slander Cal's method of assembling talent. And I get it. Last few years, not great. But these were those under the radar guys that would have gone to Oklahoma, Drexel, Wake Forest, stayed there, and would not have had this opportunity. So they're very appreciative of it. And it means something to them to be able to represent the University of Kentucky. And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that not derogatory to even to last year's team, because I think it was special for them too.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is they came into this year knowing they were going to be behind the 8 ball. The team got put together late, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody ever played with each other before. Yeah. And, they made the choice to come here and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding they're not going to get the full Kentucky experience of 2, 3, 4 years. But they came here to make their own mark, and they did.
Yeah.
And I just think that we should also extend that grace to other players that have played for us as well. I can say this team is special with what they had to do, but I don't think it's fair to say that 5 stars don't care. And that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen 5 stars that do care.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I wish that the Big Blue Nation, BBN, would stop being gatekeepers on a lot of stuff. Because you have to allow for people that didn't grow up Kentucky fans.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give us space. And I understand that your Papaw, your Meemaw, used to listen to K. Wood Lefford on the radio. I didn't, but am I not a qualified fan?
Mm-hmm.
Right? People that didn't grow up in Kentucky. Are you telling me that it didn't mean anything for Chuck Hayes to wear Kentucky across his chest?
Mm-hmm.
That Tayshaun Prince didn't care?
Mm-hmm.
I get it, and I understand the importance and how great it is to see kids from Kentucky play for Kentucky. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is we need to extend that grace to everybody that puts on the blue and white.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Amor's for Australia. She don't count. She's just second team All-American. Kenny Brooks just coach of the year.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
national coach of the year. That's right.
And so he had the same situation as Coach Pope. He had to bring in 11 new faces in the daunting SEC, and went through the whole year. And now they're hosting.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to remind Kentucky folks, it's okay to let new people in. It really, and at this point, am I a new person? That was 30 years ago.
Yeah,
when I decided to pull the trigger on that. So I just want fans to understand is you can let new people in. People not from Kentucky can get it. You don't have to grow up a Kentucky fan to get it. I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. I'm excited about this team. It's a situation like I was telling you about with the 49ers. I want this team to have success for them.
Mm-hmm.
That was my big takeaway with the St. Peter's loss was I looked, you talk about, losing. I looked at my Facebook memories and I tweet out Oscar Tshiebwe deserved better.
Yeah, boy.
He just deserved better than losing the first round and then losing in the second round. And still, that tournament, he lost in the second round. He still led total rebounds to the championship game.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, anyway, I'm excited. This is a great time of year. I love the small schools that finally get a little bit of glory. Yay for them. But we gonna take care of y'all this weekend. We got all that Cinderella stuff. That's good this weekend. Then we got to move on to next weekend and get this. But I'm excited. I can't wait for Friday evening. Got my blue pants. Got my blue dunks. Got my Mark Pope 41.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go now.
That's it. Can't wait, man. It's fast as the season is going by. And it has. It flew by. We just talked about putting this team together, and now SEC tournament is already over. This week feels like it's dragging now to get to Friday. It's like, it's a little slow. Normally it goes by fast. I'm like, man, we still gotta wait till tomorrow and all day Friday. But I'm with you as far as being present. Even when they play My Shining Moment, One Shining Moment on CBS, either before they end that broadcast or the first thing you see on SportsCenter is the too early odds for next year. Like the confetti hasn't even fallen on what we just watched, and they already going, every next Super Bowl odds. Oh, the Eagles won this year. Oh, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Lions, blah blah blah. It's always what's next. So but but as far as my picks, I'll in a perfect world, you talking about Duke and all that. I want to see the SEC well represented. I mean, with Monster Conference, stacked teams, 14 teams in, the Big East in the 80s with Georgetown, St. John's, Villanova making it to Lexington to play in that Final Four. I hope the SEC gets represented well and has multiple teams in it as well, so you don't have to hear the Big Ten people say, they got 14 teams in and they're all out after the second weekend. I hope that doesn't happen. I'd love to see Mississippi State just physically maul Duke in the second round and send them home. I don't know if they got enough to do that, but I would love. They play physical, they play rough. Duke ain't ready for that. I'd love for Duke to be like, they're roughing us up too much, and I'd like to see the Bulldogs take the Blue Devils out in round 2.
I would say that it's almost like UNLV in the 90s where they were playing in the Big West. They didn't play anybody and, getting ready for the tournament. We'll have to see 2 months of not playing anybody.
Yeah.
What does that got do? What is that? How's that help Duke get to where they want to be?
That's what Gonzaga does every year for 25 years. They try to play 1 or 2 marquee games before they get to the WCC play, and then that's what Mark Few's been doing on repeat for a quarter century. So we'll see. I think my final I had Florida and Alabama. That depends on Grant Nelson, but then I've had, and anything can change. But the way Florida's looking like they're peaking right now, it's going to be hard to beat them.
They're looking good, and hopefully, if they do win it, maybe they'll start selling out their home games. Because I know they didn't do that when they went back to back.
Right. The O'Connell Center or whatever, the old dome.
Yeah, but I think it's something else now.
I thought some kind of sponsorship before it now. Like
I ain't worried about that.
Florida National Bank old dome or whatever now. I don't know.
But I do want to see at least give 6 or 7 SEC teams in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. The representation.
That's got to be the payoff. I would think. And I've seen a lot of Louisville fans. They're upset about their seed, and I had to correct. I can't remember what Louisville personality it was. All those years Kentucky won a championship, and the SEC was only sending 3 teams. Now look, that's not accurate. Every championship going back to the 70s, there were at least 4 SEC teams. The last time the SEC sent 3 teams to the tournament was 2014, and 2 of the 3 made the Final Four. So I get the anti-SEC whatever. I get it, but for decades I've heard about how good the Big Ten is, and they have not cashed in a chip since 2000. Yeah.
Old Tom Izzo, who'd you say? You mentioned somebody that gets, Bruce Pearl gets more love than he should. Tom Izzo, I mean,
I get it that he's been to like 7 or 8 Final Fours, but
and they called Tubby Smith 10-loss Tubby. Tom Izzo had so many 10-loss seasons, it's ridiculous.
Right. once you get into the numbers and we start doing this, when we talk about who's a blue blood, who's not, and you start looking at some stuff, it comes real funny in the light. When you start looking, because when Michigan State went on that run, I follow some Michigan State mutuals and somebody ever tweeted something like, people were saying, why was Michigan State invited to the Champions Classic? Now look at us. It's a valid question because y'all only got them 2. Why y'all you're barely in the Champions plural Classic? Why are y'all here?
Took Magic Johnson to get you to 1 after he lost to Jack Goose and them in 78. And then the other one with Mateen Cleveland, that thing is 25 years old now. You realize?
Yes.
You talk about a drought.
Yes.
That's almost as long as the Cowboys and Niners drought. I mean, it's not far behind. It's just 4 or 5 years.
And so, and that's the thing too, is people's irrational hatred of the SEC. It influences a lot of their thinking. All I'm saying is, when it comes even to men's basketball, it's Kentucky and whoever decides to be good, but the teams are generally pretty good.
Yeah.
That's why you can get 5 straight years of Kentucky and Arkansas in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Florida the year after that in 2000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, Mississippi State has been to a Final Four. Mm-hmm. South Carolina has been to a Final Four. Auburn has been to a Final Four. Mm-hmm. LSU with Big Baby Davis has been to a Final Four recently.
Georgia went to one after Dominique left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's in Tennessee. So it's not just Kentucky. And that's the whole thing is, and you look at it on the football side, it's just Alabama. Like, since the BCS started and going back to 98, was that 25 years, give or take. And it's 6 SEC teams that won football championships?
Yeah, Tennessee.
Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida,
LSU.
Georgia, LSU. I'm missing somebody.
Is Oklahoma SEC now? Texas,
but I'm not even counting them. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Florida, Tennessee. Those are the 90s, and then LSU, Auburn, Alabama, and
Georgia.
But that's still 6 different schools.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's still 6 different schools.
You said Auburn, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's just the 6. But still, it ain't just one team.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point I'm making. And then you look at baseball. Look at anything you want to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember when we had Coach Floreal, the former track coach, on, what did he say? If you can compete in the SEC, you can compete for a national championship.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, with Florida basketball this year, they are not going to play 3 straight games like they did in the SEC tournament.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like we said that looking at the brackets last week. Like, you're just not going to play that many good teams in a row, even to get to the Final Four and championship.
And they got a dude 8 foot tall, don't even play.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Unbelievable. 7'9", Lord have mercy.
But I'm excited to once again locate True TV.
Your reunion.
Maybe. What channel is Kentucky coming on CBS on Friday? I need to check that out.
I think so.
I need to check that out.
Right now, Mount St. Mary's is up 10 on American. I do have it on. I found it before we started, so I don't know who the second game is. Is it Xavier? Xavier, Texas, the second game? Maybe so.
Oh, Spartans win 14-5.
All right.
With a delay in the game for weather, so I have to check out the stats. Hey, she leading in stats. I showed you, like, I send you some of them screenshots. I'm like, I don't know what all this means, but when they say she's a leader, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they. You didn't even have to clean for that. 14-5. That was a stress-free dub today.
Yeah. I need to check and make sure she didn't get another unsportsmanlike penalty. I knew it was coming too. I told Kate, because Sarah and this girl, they elbowing and jaw jacking. And I saw it coming too. A girl kind of gave her a shove, and then she came, boom. I'm like, sometimes you got to send a message, baby. hit it with the Ray Lewis, and now your opponent's thinking, I don't want this coming again. I'm for it. Be physical, but don't be dirty.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. Congratulations on the win today, and I look forward to more updates for Sarah and Lauren both. So glad to see them both doing well. We look forward to Friday night, like you said. We get all set up, get your blue on, get your dunks on, get your bow tie, sweater vest, sock game, whatever you want to do.
and that's right, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I got my plan for Friday. How I'm going to clean, what I'm going to clean.
Mm-hmm.
I always I start off with the 86 shorts. And if things necessitate, I just go in chronological order. So if you see me in the, I don't have the newer ones. I think my newest ones are I still got the checkerboard for my new ones. But if I'm in the checkerboard, things have gone bad.
Yeah.
I just want an easy win where I can just sit and chill in the second half. Mm-hmm. Keep that 10 to 12 range. Because I don't want Lamont to have to play 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Play your 20 minutes. Do like the Bulls used to do, and sweep that first round. Just playing the Hawks or the Nets, whoever they were playing the first round. Sweep them. Right.
Poor Juwan and C. Webb and Albert Taney.
Get them out the paint so you can rest up and get ready for Sunday. So hopefully by the time we reconvene, the Cats will be sweet again. And how great will that be?
That's it, man.
Hopefully the women will be sweet too.
Mm-hmm.
At
That's
historic Memorial Coliseum.
It's beautiful. Y'all come check it out. If y'all hadn't, well, not for basketball, but still got gymnastics and volleyball coming up. Get on in there and check out the renovations, man. Looks good. Looks good. We hope the Cats keep looking good, and we appreciate everybody checking us out. Appreciate you, TV, each and every week. Appreciate Coach G, Gary Greer.
Absolutely.
Girls basketball coach on. Looking forward to seeing what that young team does over the next few years, and looking forward to hopping back on here, talking about the Cats and whatever else comes to our mind in the future. We'll go ahead and jump off here for now, and we'll holler at y'all later. Go Cats. It's March. Let's do this. See y'all.
Let the madness begin.
Absolutely.